Hi, welcome to the Transformational Leadership Workshop, presented by Jarixel Smith-Tetrick, the Leadership Resource Center graduate intern, California State University Fullerton graduate student. If you have any questions about this workshop, please feel free to email me to the email that appears on the screen. Workshop Learning Outcomes. Today, you will learn about the Transformational Leadership by taking the Multifactor Leadership Questionnaire MLQ online. You will learn about the transformational leadership factors and utilize them for your future career and leadership. Workshop Agenda. Today you will learn about the Transformational Leadership. You will take the Multifactor Leadership Questionnaire MLQ-CS online. You will learn about the background of the Transformational Leadership. Transformational Leadership as a continuum. What is Transformational Leadership? Why Transformational Leadership? Benefits of the Transformational Leadership. Characteristics of the leader. How transformational leadership works. At the end of this workshop, you will reflect about your career vision and future actions utilizing the factors for the transformational leadership. So get ready with your materials. You will need an MLQ questionnaire CS online. I will explain you how to find it. You will also need a notepad. If you don't have one, please don't worry. You can use a Word document from your computer to write your scoring. You will also need a pen or a pencil. I do recommend using the pencil in case you make some mistakes and you need to erase your answers and rewrite them. Please get ready. Now it's time to stop. But before you go, please take the Multifactor Leadership Questionnaire MLQ online. Here are the instructions. Go to your search bar and type this link that appears on the screen. You will find the Multifactor Leadership Questionnaire MLQ Form CS online. This questionnaire is hosted by semanticscholar.org. Please follow the instructions. Answer all the 21 questions, and you will rate yourself between 1 to 4. You will print this form, or you will write your answers on a notepad or in the Word document. The results will be a self-score of your responses with the scoring directions that appear on the screen. Please write your scoring over here in this section. And keep in mind, you need to keep the 4 top factors of the transformational leadership. You will utilize only the top 2 highest scoring of those 4 factors for your last reflection at the end of the workshop. After you finish, please go back to the video to complete the workshop. Background of the transformational leadership. In 1973, sociology James Dunton created the term transformational. In 1978, James Barnes introduced transformational leadership. But in 1985, Bernard Bass advanced the idea of transformational leadership. However, there are other theories about transformational leadership. They are based in strategies about transforming organizations, and there is another one about models of 5 fundamental practices. However, Bass is the most useful transformational leadership theory, and this is the one that we will be learning today. Leadership born in 1978. It's based in transactional, transformational, pseudo-transformational, The transactional leadership is based in exchanges between followers and leaders. A good example for this is a professor that gives you a grade for an assignment that you submitted. In everyday basis, we utilize the transactional leadership. Another good example is if you are working with your followers and you exchange with them the idea of you give me a good performance and I give you a raise. That is transactional leadership. Transformational leadership. The leader engages with followers and creates a connection that increases the level of motivation and morality. A good example for this is a manager who wants to change the culture of the company. Followers and managers will merge in this transformational process. The pseudo-transformational is the negative side of the transformational leadership. Here, the leader is power-oriented and focuses on self-interest and does not care about others. A good example for this is a supervisor who only cares about themselves and influences negative transformation without considering employees' needs. So you don't need to practice this type of leadership because it's really negative. So you stay in the transformational leadership. Let's go move to the transformational leadership model developed by Bass 1985. Basically, it's based in three components that he improved, and he advanced this idea, this transformational process. It was basically about developing more attention to followers' needs than for the leader's needs. The transformational leadership can be applied to circumstances with adverse outcomes. For example, if something is no longer working in your group or organization, it's the moment to apply the transformational leadership. The leadership as a continuum. He developed the idea of the transformational leadership goes to transactional and laissez-faire leadership style. And it also can go from laissez-faire out to transactional and transformational. Bass 1985 advanced Bourne's 1978 idea of transformational leadership. This is a very important tip to keep in mind about the background of this type of leadership. So look at your screen. What you see is the continuation of these leadership styles. It starts from the laissez-faire. You are denial of leadership responsibilities. For example, if you are not leading your group or organization, you're in this leadership style. And then you decide to go to transactional, management by exceptions. In this type of transactional leadership style, you're just expecting your followers to make mistakes to intervene. Another example of this is your employees are making a lot of mistakes and you give it a bad evaluation at the end. But you don't have any conversations about this bad behavior or bad actions from your followers. And then you go to transactional, contingent rewards, clear goals. In this type of leadership style from transactional, you're on the positive side. You exchange with your followers different goals. If you give me a good performance, I give you a raise. That's a good example, as I mentioned before. But this is where you want to be. The efficiency of transformational leadership to motivate, stimulate, and influence your employees. But let's see another example. How you can go back to the continuation of the negative side of going down onto laissez-faire. If you work in an organization that is doing transactional contingent rewards, just changing goals with the followers, and then suddenly you're in transactional management by exception, only intervening to your followers when they make mistakes and giving them bad evaluations at the end, or just letting them go without having conversations. And then at the end, you just stop leading your followers. And now you are denying the leadership responsibilities and you in Laissez-Faire leadership style. This is how you can go from this style to here, transformational, and then transformational to the Laissez-Faire. Laissez-Faire leadership one factor. In this leadership style, you are no leading. You know transactional. The absence of the leadership is there. You take hands off and let things ride on their own. There is no exchanges. There is no connections. You delay decisions. There is no feedback or satisfaction of the needs of the followers. A good tip for this type of leader: the leader acts very detached and provides no meetings and no much contact with the followers. Transactional leadership two factors. There is two different factors: contingent reward and constructive transactions. In this factor, leaders try to negotiate with followers to complete a task. A good example: an employee needs to submit a quality project in order to get promoted. This is the positive side of the transactional leadership. However, the management by exception and corrective transactions, you have active and passive. In active, manager watches the followers if they make mistakes to get or take corrective actions. Here you're just waiting for your followers to make mistakes. In the passive way, the leader intervenes when the problems arise. The good example that I mentioned to you before is, for example, if your followers are making constantly mistakes, having those conversations with them. And then at the end, you just give it this by evaluation, or just fire them or let them go. So you will be in the passive way. However, a good tip for this is passive and active offer more negative support from followers than contingent reward and constructive transactions. This is the positive side. This is the negative side. Transformational leadership four factors. This is where you want to be. We start with idealized influence and inspirational motivation. In idealized influence, leaders act as a strong role model. Leader inspire respect, trust, and loyalty. Leader emphasizes a collective vision and mission. This is measured by two different components. Attributional is based on perceptions. How your followers have the perception of your behavior. And the second one is behavioral. It's based on observations. How your followers observe you, how you're behaving. It is very important that you act as a role model because you can inspire respect, trust, and loyalty to your followers. In inspirational motivation, leaders communicate high expectations. Leaders inspire followers to the shared vision and motivate followers. Leaders use encouraging words to motivate teams to achieve more than their self-interest. It's very important that you use those encouraging words with your followers so they can feel inspired. And you share the goals and tasks with the mission and vision of the organization or the group to make them inspired and make them feel motivated to act. Transformational leadership factors. So we have the other ones. The third one, intellectual stimulation and individualized consideration. In intellectual stimulation, leaders stimulate followers to be creative with ideas to share with the organization. Leaders support the followers with their ideas and engage them in problem solving in the organization. It's very important in this factor that you stimulate your followers to be creative to resolve issues and problems in the organization. This is how you develop them. In individualized consideration, leaders listen to the individual needs of the followers and provide empathy and support. Leaders act as coaches with one-on-one relationship Leaders might delegate to followers based on their skills to help them to grow. In the individualized consideration, you're acting as a coach. You listen carefully to the needs of all your followers. You know them, and you start delegating different tasks based on their skills. This is how you're going to make them to grow professionally and personally. What is transformational leadership? It's a leadership style in which the leader recognizes the need for transformation. The leader creates a clear vision. You can use the mission of the organization to create a clear vision. It's very important to transform the organization. He acts as a role model. The leader motivates the team by including the team goals and tasks as a part of the vision, stimulating the team to be creative by providing individualized personal and professional development support. Why transformational leadership? Transformational leadership transform followers and leaders and engage them in transformational process. Transformational leadership inspires followers to transcend their own self-interest for the benefit of the team and the organization. It's very important because in this type of leadership, you're protecting the corporation and the organization, but you're also not neglecting the needs of your followers. Transformational leadership addresses concerns and focuses on long-term goals. Transformational leadership motivates and develops followers in times of uncertainty and changes social systems and organizations. It's a perfect leadership style to use when things are no longer working, or people who doesn't have a lot of motivation and you want to start motivating them and leading them to the new goals and make changes. This is a very good leadership to motivate your followers. Transformational leadership encourages followers on a one-on-one level to improve the organization. If you keep motivating your followers, you would achieve more goals. Transformational leadership satisfies the needs of the followers and treats them as humans and enhances their performance. Benefits of the transformational leadership. It's very important because you communicate new ideas with this type of leadership. You develop emotional intelligence and empathy with your followers by applying this type of leadership. You balance short and long-term goals. You develop a small company with a big vision to grow. It's a very good leadership style when you want to start a new corporation or a new company. Structure organization and motivate followers to the new direction. If something is no longer working, this is a very good moment to apply this type of leadership style to motivate your followers to the new direction and make changes. But something important about this leadership style is when your teams are not working or doing what they're supposed to do, you can use the type of leadership to build a strong coalition and make your followers to feel comfortable, motivate them to the shared goals. Transformational leader characteristics. It's very important you act as a role model. You have to be very organized. You also have to be very responsible and team-oriented. You support your followers to reach their fullest potentials. You're very attentive to the needs of the followers. You work towards the benefit of the team, the community, and the organization. With this type of leadership style, you're protecting the team, you're protecting the community and the organization. You create a balance. It's a very good leadership style to keep a balance between the organization needs and the needs of the followers. How transformational leadership works? It describes how leaders can initiate or facilitate organizational changes. Changes in structures that no longer work. For example, if something is no longer working in your corporation or group, if you want to create changes, this is a very good leadership style. Empowers the followers to change and look for the interest of the company and the team. Provides clear directions to the followers' roles and shapes the culture of the organization. It can be used in recruitment, in training and development, and reorganization. It's very important to recognize these points. When you want to train your followers and something is not working in the organization and you want to create those changes, this is a good moment to apply the transformational leadership to start transforming the organization, develop the followers, motivate them, and take them to the next level, and share the goals and mission of the organization. You can lead. Now it's time for you to go back to the Multifactor MLQ questionnaire where you scored the highest for the 4 different factors of the transformational leadership. Please select the highest scores. The top 2 of the idealized influence, remember, is lead by example and set the expectations. Intellectual stimulation, encourage learning and growth. Inspirational motivation, inspiring to go to the new heights. Individualized consideration, coaching and empowering to success. You're going to reflect about your career vision and future actions. You're going to use your notepad or your computer Word documents. And you will write just a paragraph. Just reflect about these 2 questions that appear on the screen. What is your career vision in 5 years? What are you doing 12 months to accomplish your career vision? As an exercise, as an additional task, if you want, please feel free to visit this link that appeared on the screen. You will visit a video. You will watch this video about the transformational leadership using clips from the movie A Bug's Life. Thank you for watching this workshop. If you have any questions about the Leadership Resource Center or the Emerging Leaders Certificate Program, please email us at leaders@csulb.edu. This workshop was presented by Jared Smith Tetrick, the Leadership Resource Center graduate intern and California State University Fullerton graduate student. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me to the email that appears on the screen. If you want credit in the leadership program, please complete this evaluation that appears on the screen. Please use your phone and scan this QR code to take the survey and receive credit. Thank you so much for watching, and please be safe.